kunzakana kanjani. The family don't worry, kunzakana wangu wallings man. Bale godo ndavarita, avaboda kuti grita. Siana na wati wone kono shika, na wari ndinopika. The family bora, inifanika kaka. Ambeno, yangu vakandimaka. Asichando ziva na wandi nataka. Kaya, anamba vachiprata. Me bada lempe. Baby, nakakuchasa, nikakupa moyo wangu. Saka please obrasa pasi. Kubuda kwa nino kuita, no kwa nituma kuti ndikunyorera sa ukisuara nasi. Nipenda kuchengesa, sezaka itajutasi, kuna chisasi. Urisaira ngukana gasi, kandisiya ndinopera gasi. Andikone kushitana ngura, ndinokudisisa. Fan kepono ndikisa, inozwa, kuda kuramba nchikuisa. Nakakupa moyo wangu soundbreaker, Ausi William heartbreaker. Utori love maker, ukandisiya ndo shicheka cheka.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining a special edition of the Earground, The Plot Thickens series. Tonight is going to be an exciting program. Tonight is going to be very interesting. So starting off the program, I started off with a song, a medley rather, of the Zimbo Flava rhythm, one of the most epic and the most celebrated Zim dance or rhythms ever. And it's for a reason why I started off with this rhythm. This rhythm came from Chew Spot, the very same reason why we decided to start this conversation. Not that we're going to be talking about Chew Spot necessarily, but it's going to be part of the conversation. There's a background to this conversation. So for those that are joining the program and possibly have not heard what the conversation was, I'm going to do a quick play of the key message before we invite our guests today. Tonight we've got special guests, a couple of them. One or two have made excuses, but we've got a very interesting lineup. I'll be introducing the guests from time to time. Welcome, Ras Pompi. I see you. So this week on the center stage, a program that is run on Power FM, DJ Fantan together with the whole Chew Spot family, they had a very interesting conversation. A conversation that saw Fantan touch a storm through a statement that he made, a statement that we want to dissect, we want to discuss it. And this conversation is going to be thought-provoking, very detailed, but non-combative. So no hate speech, no hate language from both our panelists to you, the listeners and the viewers out there. So for those that don't know, my name is Plot Marco. I'm the guy behind the Earground platform, which is a platform that basically seeks to amplify new voices or voices from Zimbabwe, musical voices. So if you can just drop some likes, if you can hear my voice so well, so that I know everything is cook and curry, everything is set nice and proper, And thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for making this program what it is. I've seen like 60 people that have joined the program. It's going to be exciting, I tell you. And as I've said, we're going to start off with a conversation from the center stage. This is what Fantan said.
Exactly. And you are there, you're trying to bring into an industry which is dominated by these acts of Wataura. How was it for you to try and get your name out there? What strategy did you use?
Good. Strategy, this is called Zimdancer. Because
but Zimdancer, you to define what when you're Wataura.
Okay, good. Listen, back in the days where Sniper Storm was there, Winky D, Badman, Daddy D, and Daddy D, yes, Zimdancer, back in the days. You understand? But if I come around to dancer.
Okay.
But when you under the umbrella of Eben Group, I know when we Santos says on the guitar. Winky D was there already. I Timber Dance. Sniper Storm was there. Daddy D. But normally under the umbrella of Eben Group.
All right.
Then the strategy you're going to choose Put Records. Takani culture. You dance for church, you need to hold Jamaica. You compile my rhythm albums, my rhythm compilations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've heard it. This is what Fantan said. Not an edited version. This is uncut. And we're going to start our conversation from there. And just to kick off our conversation, we're going to have a few people that are going to join us as guests. And some of the guests that are going to be on the program include some of the people that were part of the foundation, the likes of Papal of the Bad Boy family. And Papal has just joined us now. And welcome, Papal. Thank you so much for joining the program. And yeah, have a go. Your background, Zim dance or dance in Zimbabwe. I'm good, man.
Yeah, go ahead there, Plot, man. What are the questions? Did you roll
Yes, so my first question to you is, where did dancehall start, or Zim dancehall start? If you can explain the first and then the second in Zimbabwe.
Okay, you're breaking up. I'm in a network. I'm going to start again. So come again.
Okay. My question was, where did Zim dancehall start? When did dancehall start? If you could explain maybe the two. You were part of the first generation, and then you were part of also the second generation, but now as a record label owner. So if you could take us from your understanding on the development of Zim dancehall or dancehall in Zimbabwe.
Okay, my network is bad. Let me move.
Okay, but I can hear you well. I don't know if you can hear me well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. With the Zim dancehall, it's hard to say when it started. You know, my they start from somewhere, and then they are just one of the refined one later. So I would say in this original Zim dancehall, it wasn't even on the time. Like the likes of Tobias Ariketa, and then Transit made it big, Paco record up, that's, the word Zim dancehall, I think for what define, Wakatanga Zim dancehall in Zimbabwe, and I think that's, we have to differentiate dancehall in Zimbabwe, and Zim dancehall. Zim dancehall is a term, Yawazo Shantama 2000 and something. We gotta give them that. But kuna culture tea, kuna yapi. I saw after no, I one what I told even chant out, you know, just like in Jamaica with the anabujo after anaburo bando my elders, my chichi, Charlie Chaplin, you know, but the dance became different. My chant later, I mean, the band would develop. I think it's a question of terms. The Shandy's part, but it's in that I'm talking now, definitely, you know that. Kuna daddy rage, but I think I'll now, you know. I mean, even when we started that recording, the first recording was like in 1994. Count energy like studio they Shandy's. I don't know if you remember Intersound.
Intersound, yeah, Tony Adonis go you side. I remember. Yeah,
you know, like even I mean, we used to record music on that. Remember, when you used to store the music, the first that we on the Bad Boy, like the Bad Boy special, we did like a rendition. I mean, we used that Daddy Ray, and you know, Daddy Ray was so good. I mean, I usually still remember even one day, that's a Daddy Ray song. I got to an unfortunate. Everyone knows that, you know, because he used to perform that song. But I've had a tune of fortune about it, I saw. But that was like a Daddy Ray song, and but yes, before that, I mean, in now they tear and a yappy, you know, with a culture tea. Because culture tea, I know about the microphone, that's what I kids, you know. And
but
I mean, that was in Zimbabwe.
But was it called Zim Dancer then? At what point did it become?
No. Because I guess I said when it was hard, you know, it was the music you had in bunch. The music you had some sort of chose, you know what I mean? You know, like when we went at first we used to conceal it because like this kind of music was like I did grade 7, 87, 89. But you know, which is Don Carlos, Charlie Chaplin, you know what I mean? And you'd have one that Chanda Marine, you know. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember. I know what
That's like that in Zim. Let's not call it Zim Dancer. Zim Dancer is something I mean, Zim Dancer, I mean, at first, you know, it was monotonous. I mean, when it started, you know, it's like the same beat, like we are gathered a beat in Duraka, you know, it's the same beat. But the dance of dance of Zimbabwe, to know about credits, I mean, let's say, I give my liking of the dance in Zim and Dopa. I give it to Dennis also, Nana Munya Brown. Right, it's about radio, you know, they would play one or two. So, with my recording, it wasn't as easy as it is now with my computer, you know. The recording studio, is kind of zero. Kuna Intersound, kuna shared studios, but the price of shared studios, you couldn't touch it. You know what I mean? So, I should not develop a chain. But I think the everybody in my studio, this is the way it was. They got developed with that because of my computers. But you know, it would be like 1 gig would be like to store a song, so it's computers. I know you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
That was maybe the regress and off. But I mean, when you do your argument, is your Fantana right in his own way? Right. You know.
So you are agreeing with Fantan? We are agreeing with what Fantan said?
I don't agree with him totally. That's all is Baba. Not I'm gonna win him. You know what I mean? Saying that. No. That was Babega. In any Bandiga, Yapi and culture tea, you know, because it was hard. Yapi diaries when we want to come in a room. You remember my son?
Yeah, I remember.
93, 92. And then start time.
I'm for a start time. Yeah, man.
Start time.
Yeah, man.
You'd go to club, later club. That's when 91, 92. You'd hear especially and a sweet ebony. And Silverstone, Chivas and Blacking, Nana Bernard. Yeah, not General B. You know, when I'm my specials out, and I'm my Shaito Shami Sakuonas. In English, especially when we did this, what was it like 94? I said, yeah, 90.
Pamaira Baba.
No, that was like Bad Boy.
Bad Boy, yes.
And then we did the album of first 98. But that was the music, you know. I tried my hand at it, but voice I'm gonna get down.
Okay.
That's what in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I hear you. So at what point would you say the statement by Fantan is true and false?
What I say, I think it was just a question of the terminology. I can't say it. Right, because Vakachi push because Vatanata Shema rhythm. So
Yeah, man.
like the Zimbo flavor rhythm, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's zvakabatsira luck spin. I don't know who did the luck spin, but I think ana cheapers. I mean, in that new era, ndo vacho, you know what I mean? Like red pakamwetika, you know, we used to listen kuna vanhu vanasana ana bini man, and then pakazouya zvana Monster Shack. Yange toriwe trend
Yeah,
yakaya
man.
mudanzo yekuti ana Monster Shack achichi vamwe ana Elephant Men vakudai, so you know, it's, I think vakatova redefine kana even Jamaican reggae yacho, you know, by coming out nevanhu vakadaro. Kwandiri yanga iri noise, but they came out, you know.
So it could be an issue of different names, because if I understand well, I remember with even the Jamaican dancehall, it was not called dancehall, like Jamaican dancehall then. It had different names, you know.
You know, there's people before Bob Marley. Marley did not invent that. But akazoita kuti the next step. I think we'll move at the next step. Winky moves at the next step. Fantana move to the next step. You know, zvana Fantana vakagadzira studio, you know, gadzira music kuti ukaenda ikoko uchibva kuguruve unonomira uchiswa zvako zvinzwike. If you're really talented, vakomana vanokupusha. Uri kunzwa. All you need is talent, and then osvika pambari bye.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot, Papaloza. It's really an honor to actually have you on the program. I mean, I'm a big fan. I grew up listening to you, and yeah, it's the legacy lives, you know.
To throw something, it's 25 years in the business, you know. I mean, like as Bad Boy, but before Takambo, I think I'm a 91, that's, you know.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. If I had known, I would have worn my Boys Zetona's cap. You know, I bought one especially because I love Bad Boy family. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think I'll move on to the next panelist. Thanks a lot, Papaloza. So thank you so much, guys. That was Papaloza. He was explaining from his own understanding, and he told us there that he says is not necessarily wrong. It might be an issue of different terminology, but there were a turning point when it comes to dancehall, Zim dancehall in Zimbabwe, you know. So now to get on the conversation, I'm adding my second guest, who happens to be JMP Jipe, for the reason that is regarded as one of the pioneer dancehall, Zim dancehall producers in Zimbabwe, just to get his input there to get an understanding. Yeah. So thank you so much. I see some of the requests to add you guys up. I do appreciate. We shall add you, but I think first priority to give it to people that were enlisted on this program as the main guests. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to add JMP. In the meantime, I think I'll just run through a bit of oh yeah, JP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wagwan.
Blood.
Wagwan, bro.
Wagwan, bro. They are, you know, flesh, blood, and bone in a real life.
Respect, man.
Respect. Same way.
Yeah. So you're one of the pioneers. You're one of the founders in terms of the foundation for Zim dancehall. In terms of the production, you were part of the Jipmok rhythm, which was, I think, one of the key rhythms that sort of opened the ground as far as like Zim dancehall is concerned.
True.
Yeah, this conversation comes on the background of a statement that was issued by Fantan. Not necessarily that I want to dwell on his statement, but just to try and enlighten and inform people and educate people on the facts, whether he said it true, whether there's additional truth that needs to be added. What's your point?
All right. First of all, I am honored, you know, to be recognized as one of the biggest and the first, you know, Zim dancehall producers, you know, in the whole country. I actually have an honorary award for that. I actually have recognition over that, the most. But I am going to tell the people today and let them know today that I am not the founder of Zim dancehall. Right? I want people to really understand that I am not a founder, right? this was there before. Yeah, give thanks. This was there before, way before I was here. I mean, we can talk of the Zacharidim, you know. That's 2001. We can talk about Three Wise Men. We can talk about Country Boy, Gota Major E. We can talk about a lot of people that contributed way before we started contributing our part to the genre. And my biggest argument is if we don't know our history, we lose our values, we lose the culture. You know, we really need to give people their legacy. Legacies are very important because that's all that we have in the end as mortal human beings.
Yeah, man.
My bad.
Yeah, man.
My Otongo Sara, Unotokrara Wenda. You know what I mean? But legacy has to live on. You know, give people their credentials. They did a part. Winky did a major part. And I'm not gonna lie, Fontaine did a major part. He's actually one of the biggest trending producers and record label at the moment. Chill Spot is a very big thing, you know. But if we stop now respecting those who came before us, who's gonna respect us when we're gone? Do you understand? We are in. For me, we are in the fourth generation of producers. You know, the Jeezys, what's that? No Limits. You know, the Jaffish, the Malantes, the Deraginos. You know, the list is endless.
Yeah, man.
And these people have to go on and do better than we did. We have to pass the torch to them, right? But if we do not give recognition that people like, for me, people like T-Head, Way Out Records, just around that corner, I'm in Cheetown right now in the areas, but no Babatone Way Out Records. And these people, Dovagato in the pins on the studio for the first time. These are the people that recorded a beat for me on a cassette before there were USBs and share it and all that. And we need to give them the recognition. You know, it goes way back before even T-Head. So that legacy has to be given back. For me, I feel like, you know, Elijah Pontan is my friend for a long time. We've done business, but I feel like he really has to apologize on that note. Even in the future, our kids won't recognize Zatakaita Isusu just because Paninga Painichi Dingo Chaguti in 19 Fantin said he started dancehall. You know, how will they know Kutimaya Kwaktomborinana Potatu? You know, there was you know, Brugiman, Chimbapa Way Out Rhythm in 2002. There was Bonslag with Blackspin. You know, there was JMP with Level 2. You know, there was JMP with this. No one will recognize. No one will give the credit. Yaguti sound yagato change. For example, Nubu Digital is the first person who got the Rajgubu, and the Rajgubu Jaka were well defined. That was a different taste of Zim dancehall because we were making a complete replica by then. And Nubu actually changed the game by giving it more of a Zimbabwean flavor. You know, Joiner City, you know, Love Yem Soldier. You know, if we don't recognize Kuti Iwa Yangatori Maridima, Nimangoma artist. For example, right now in December we released Chibona's Rhythm, but the biggest song that blew up was what's the name of that song? Enzo's song, Magati, right? But Patoni Mangoma Chune Wangwan, if that song is not recognized as a rhythm, it doesn't mean a easy reading. So we need to give their legacies. Yeah.
Large up. Thanks a lot, Jeepers. It's really profound to hear from you, and I think some are agreeing with what you're saying. And there's what I appreciate is the amount of respect and that you've given in your explanation. You know, you're not outrightly condemning, you're actually appreciating and acknowledging the contribution that Fantan has, but at the same time setting the record straight to say, look, maybe it was not necessarily known as Zim dancehall, but the genre had already been there way before. Yes.
I have to actually recorrect that, because if you go on Godfather Templeman's Facebook page right now, there is a poster from 2010, right, which is tagged a Zim dancehall event. So the term Zim dancehall did not originate in Mbare. These things actually caused a lot of havoc in the past 4, 5, 6 years that divided the ghetto youths. Mbare Kings, Chitungis are this. We'll go nowhere if we do that. The cake is so big. For example, I stopped representing just Cheetown. I was born and bred in Cheetown, but I'm a product that actually starts to represent the whole country. You understand? I'm no longer Marlon T. I don't represent that Cheetown. No, that's Marlon T. That's the next generation. I'm past that. I have made songs that have played on BBC One Extra. I've made songs that have featuring artists from different places in the world, right? So these things, we do not really tell the truth and define what is what and who's what. Zim Dancer, the term Zim Dancer was probably there before 2008. You know, Luxpin is a Zim Dancer project. Konzeresa from King Labash is a Zim Dancer project. You understand? That's Zim Dancer.
I hear you.
So what I can say, and I can say is safe for Fantan to say, is they brought a different flavor of Zim Dancer, just like I did, just like Nubu did, just like Sunshine did, you know, just like Winky D did, just like Gasporia did, just like Deflex did, just like right now Enzo, Nana Panawa, Nana Boss Pumako, yo, Wapana, they're bringing a different
Respect
flavor.
Pumako.
Yeah,
man.
These kids are bringing a different flavor. So they are actually creating their own legacies in a part of what? Zim Dancer. I'm gonna go to the real dancer. Real dancer, Yellow Man, Shabarang. And Mavados and what's this other kid? Mastika, you know, they're bringing a different version. So we need to really tell the truth. Zim Dancer was there before 2008. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I think the is getting so much taking your time. I definitely hope that some scholars or some journalists will really take time to start penning down the history of dancehall and Zim dancehall and reggae in Zimbabwe, because we have so many legends. You know, Isaac Chirwa contributed, you know, Ras Jabu contributed, Culture T contributed, and we need all that to be documented. And it's actually what I like.
Yes. Continue.
Yeah. What I appreciate the most from this conversation is what Fantan did. For me, the respect that I give him on this conversation is that he started the whole country talking about the need to document. That conversation was necessary. And it's something that possibly would not have happened this year, would not have happened next year. So in that regard, whilst you're correcting the facts, I think it's actually very instrumental and very important that at least have a conversation.
Yes, thank you, Plot.
So
before
thank you so much,
I
Ken.
just want to say, Zim Danzo is like Fubu. It's for us, by us. We need to start appreciating it and recognizing and celebrating each other's achievement. You know, not going to war with the next ghetto or with the next artist. You know, right now one of my biggest songs is Guka Makafala from The Shock. And it's a helmet dance or Zim dance or version. This has grown into subgenres, and we need to start celebrating because it's for us, by us. You feel me? You know what I mean? Because this is our legacy.
That's what we need actually to grow. Yeah, true. Thanks a lot, friend. Thank you so much. Blessed. All right.
Same way.
Bless. Yeah, thank you so much. That was Jeepers. He gave his own opinion, a well-detailed chronology of events and how things happened. So, because we don't have much time, I'm just going to run from one guest to the other. This is a song by Enzo Aisha, one of the baddest artists right now at the moment from Q Sport Studios, and this song was produced by Jeepers, JMP. So I'm going to add the next guest. 1 second. Yeah, just stay with me whilst I try to add, the next guest. And kindly note, I don't have rights for the songs that are playing in my background. It's for a reason that I've had to pick some of these songs for the playlist. I'm trying to add the next guest. One second. Yeah, man. So yeah, we just had 2 guests. Papal, we've had JMP also as a guest, and in the meantime, I'm trying to add the next guest. Marshall Shonai is going to join us. Unfortunately, DJ Fantan is not going to be able to join us because we've already captured what he said, and we played it in the intro. But later on, if need be, definitely we'll see if we can add on to the program. We're going to get a quick one from one guy who loves dancehall and he has made a lot of comments, but we're going to keep it as friendly as possible. So, yeah, man, DJ Fidel.
Make sure me youth of the know about. Yeah, me nah fear no man. Them man and blade like I. Them have to know say fish not fly. They put a big like Goliath, but just like devil me a sling a shot. Yeah. No boy I take mine. That miss can't stop start from shine. The boy them a fall like rain. We a take up to fly like plane.
So we know how much contribution the diaspora had or has had and actually continues to have towards Zim dance and the development of music in Zimbabwe. And it'll be interesting to actually get an opinion. So we have Juice Adimento, who's going to join us later on. We have Mad Minox, who's based in Canada, was part of the entire revolution from the days of the sound systems. He was part of the Silverstone sound system. And yeah, man. 1 second, just hold on there whilst we try to add our guests. I think the network, especially from the Zimbabwean side, is a bit of a challenge. So some of the guests, it's a bit of a struggle to actually get them. But the conversation is Zim dance, so where did it start? How did it start? And yeah, so I'm going to, and Fidel, I'm trying to add you. I'm trying to add you, DJ Fidel.
Simplex music.
DJ Fidel, I'm trying to add you, but I think, okay. Let's see now. DJ Fidel, I'm trying to add you. And Nobo, I see you. Thank you so much for joining the program. And Marshall, I see you. Where else? Raspompi, I see you. I'm trying to add you. This was one of the biggest Zim dancehall songs ever by Toki Vibes. And I'm trying to add the producer of that track. Just kindly bear with me. I'll be reading some of the comments that are coming through whilst I wait for our guest to join us. Let's see here. Yeah, so I think we're having a bit of a problem with our network, but we'll keep trying to get more guests. We have a couple of guests, like 6, 7, that are still left to join. And let me try once again to add Fidel. Yeah, so Brian Jawi says, I think the only mistake there was in terms of just the wording, but actually what was said is correct, he insists. Cash Libs, welcome, thank you so much for joining the program. Let me see. Thanks a lot. One clue, I'm going to look for I Spy. Okay, kindly rotate your phones. Kindly rotate your phones so that I can add you. Thanks a lot, JMP. Rotate your phones so that I can add you. Yeah, because I'm failing to. So Fidel, please rotate your phone as I add you. Please rotate your phone so that I can add you. Just rotate your phones, McDonald says so. Thanks a lot, McDonald. Please rotate your phone. Please rotate your phone so that I can add you. Rockefellers, I see you, bro. Thank you so much for joining the program. Yes, let me try once more. Just rotate your phone before you accept so that you can. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
One to them.
DJ Fidel Wagwan. How them things?
I'm good. Driving as a king, man.
No, Dribos, really say 1 second. Thank you so much for joining the program, and it's good to have you. The reason why we wanted to have you is because, not because of your comment, but mainly because you've been part of the sound system generation, you've been part of the producers, and you've produced a lot of artists that have managed to break through. Can you take us through? You had your video yesterday, and please, let's keep it friendly.
No, yeah, and Rupabata King, man. Thank you, Plot. Thank you, everyone watching the program. And chiripoti chongoti inini ndakazwa kuchizizwa hanzi pane mukomana akataura kuti ndiye akaita founder wemaridhim ezimdanso. Then ndakangoshayawo ndakaona ma-headlines like every time I'm always on social media, so I was like kochichirikuitika. Saka sometimes like my group of people, they always like attack Fantan kuti Fantan ajira wana mari, Fantan azodai, but from the hustle and those Fantan achiita ne respect I give him, ndakangozvineglect ndangonyarara. Then pane kamuka video kakazotenderera, I think akangara about a minute achivunzwa akavati no, like I think wamboka player show ichitanga akati what hey inini ndinakatanga zvemaridhim all this time, can you close the door, all this time kwaisaitwa zvemaridhim, so I'm the founder wezimdance or something like that. Ndikangozviginowawo ndikangokomenta, and I have one of my groups ndaikomenta ndikuona. Then pakazoita audio note yaakazosendera one of these guys tano ukanzotarisisa kune madj apera nemaproducer apera ndaurinyaya se kukomenta, but isusu chokwadi takatanga nemaridhi, but chokwadi hachisi chokwadi chaaitaura manje, waona zvandokutaura. So I don't know if you wanivhunza kuti nditangire kwekutanga handiti.
Yeah, and utangire kwekutanga ndichazobvunza zvokupera time utangire kwekutanga.
Alright, that's fine. Inini I joined the music industry I think about 2000, in year 2000 ndopanakatanga zvemusic. I was based in Kwekwe nchiridza kuchikoro, but from what I know we used to play my CDs like it was just like the CDs itself, or like my international ma reggae gold machi. Then about ndapedza gwaji 2005-6 pane mwe mchinda akamboya kunoku ainzi apa zingoni, if you know Mr. Wolf akagadzira masvingo rhythm, you know that guy.
Yeah,
that guy ndiye akatidzidzisa kurekoda that time kwaive neainzi acid 4.0 nekugadzira mabeats nereason, not with Fruit Loops. And also the production side. But on the sound system side, I used to travel kuchubu kwa Jabi. That was like 2005. Chiuya kuchubu kwa mine train. There is no family train. I MC one of MC Shadi. The family train is where toners. What is it? Pinda toners. To ita. He win a 10 sound glass. Chifamba. Then in the family and I tamba na yokunoku. Taita promotion also. I was the first person who wins even Banda like right now can tell you I was the first person who wins a Winky D. That was 2006, Miss Schools, April 2006. Winky D kumwinza mkwekwe. The same time at MSU. Sata MSU said that my shows anozarawana. Takatira kumukwenzi kujim. Kwa watu ufamunu. If I'm not mistaken, ainza kadona netambos data takaita show iroro. Why is it? Saka as we move on, ndairidza ndichita zvekurecorda ndairecorda, but we used to record my international rhythms. I remember the compilation yangu nanhasi njiri nayo masongs iwawo. Paiva nesong rimwe rainzi, paine rhythm rimwe rainzi short time, I don't know, raive Jamaican. But takarecorda malocal artist kunoku katanga kutendereza here and there. But I don't betsera kumixa ngari Mr. Wolf. And it.
Fortune Brothers.
Okay, ndokumbirora machitaura. Then before that, kwaive nerhythm isusu tiri kugwashi. Mr. Wolf akagadzira masvingo rhythm, izvo zvomazvinzwa kudhara. Kune rimwe rainzi way out. But paine big song yatairidza madance, iyo ndairidza manje yainzi ndikabwinya ndichibwinya ini nechimoko changu tichipfuura kumara, something like that. Then kwaive nana gogo you are like the bad man. Then Wingy akataka kufollowa. Then pane pakazobuditsa Wingy D, I'm not sure which year. Akabuditsa raive MP3. Raive ana nini vana chichichi. At that time as we move. And it's chienda. Inini all this time they batak sound system promotion nekurekoda vanhu. And it 2010 ndo panaka vana crosser this other side zvinhu zvaoma ndikaenda kuMozambique. That's when I started like kuita zvema beats. Then back home manje kuno kumanje kudeni kwaive na madress ajoina city, kwaive na Nubu, kwaive na Aspy, kwaive na Critical. Kwaive na vanhu vaiveko kudeni. Sata nombopinda zvikunazopinda zvikunzi Fidadzia. Then ndakadzoka because kuMozambique taita production yemangoma because ndo life yangu ka emwefananzi Laudesh. I came back here I came back Zimbabwe yanga iri show cup ya 2010 ndikasangana na Bima unomgeta Bima manager Killer T.
Yeah man, DJ Bima
manager Killer T. Freeman, I think that was his first show kuimba Msisi Sports Center, but yanga madesa yake joina sita ya joina city chapisa yanga iri first show yake kuimba Msisi Sports anenge ave joina city nemwe song raive pa Duali. So at that time Bima akandintroduce kuna Freeman kuna Water. Why Bima akandintroduce kuna Freeman na Water? Because ini ndaigara neblazi yake yanzi MC Villa. Saka iye Bima akamboya kuMozambique chita ma works andozona like production abantu amayanzi ndo team rekuita sei team rekubata, but panetaura na Freeman madheza ya Freeman aifamba na Staira na anonzani na Ilai.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Nubu anga singafa like walking my shows. My shows andozona. So inini at that time also there was a link na nemchina in Thai International. He was in UK.
Thai International, yes. I'll add him, yeah.
Alright, Thai International is like dem nakanyatso ndisimbisa manje pa levels ekuti ndichenyatso kuenda kumberi zvema works from what I know. And but at that time now inini point yangu manje iri pakuti inini pandakatosvikawo ka yaitonzi Zim Dance. What is that story?
So which year was this? This was before True Sport, you are saying?
This is 2010 and let me go further. Inini ma production anga ndaiita ka taitotoita uchi Zim Dance. Unoza ndikutaura because kwaina Hilary na Style na Tai yainzi Zim Dance at that time, and the Tai munhu wese airidza because at that time pane show yaitwa na King Alfred yaitwa every Friday pa Jamrek Radio and it Tai ndiye munaipuwa ma redeem apo ma redeem. Inini mashows andakanya kuteera pane redeem ra I Spy kweta Mad Army, pane redeem ranzi Mad Army ra Critical rakaridzwa ipapo. Ini ndikaita shungu and it but through ndanalinga na Style na Hilary. Style ndiye wandanda kupa my redeems. I remember the first redeem I gave him was Extravaganza. Style akaita zvakaita kapa ma studios like different artists vaida kuimba. Ndopamba pane big song ya Squander. I think that was the first hit song ya Squander. Inonzi Rudo. Unoziva Rudo ro unondipa. You know that was like, but it was a rhythm. That rhythm was Extravaganza. I still have the recording. Richi introduced na King Alfred. 2011 manje andiri kutaura 2011 andiri kutaura. Richi introduced na King Alfred pa Jamrek Radio Extravaganza. Then there was this other rhythm again rainzi warning rhythm rina Freeman mwaiti mageto youth randakaita futi inini andiriona. Saka point yekuti takatanga nema rhythm it's out pana Fantan. Ndonya yangu chete andringori kuna Fantan 1 2 yekuti iye ndiye akaita founder we Zim Dance. So that's a lie to me. Why ndichidaro? Because Zim Dance it was already there. I cannot say which year pakatanga Zim Dance, but ndakatopindawo ma Zim Dance iwawo yanga mabhizi local sama local artistic, but it was there. Munza ndikutaura. You understand? There was this other guy also. I indibetsera because I was in Mozambique. I couldn't record artists like direct. But
I hear you. If I'm to question you there, right? There are a lot of stuff zvaitika usipo iyo kuMozambique zvichiitika kuZimbabwe. Would you say possibly that is the time yakatanga kunatsosortwa kwangu Zim Dance? Yes, dance yanga iriko, we're all agreeing that. But is it not the period where True Sport and other producers started creating what they call Zim Dance?
No, let me go further. Before Fantan was not even there. Fantan hapo panyadze said. Actually, Fantan is still a baby. Achiri mwana mdiki is still a baby during this time. Pane show yaitwa na Smiley. I remember putting my rhythm pa show yaitwa na Smiley. Kurupa za Smiley aita show yake. I win some rhythm. I remember this other year Indeed, I win against Freeman. It was against my song. Yainzi vanoti gaira yave pa warning reading. Freeman I don't know song and wingi ameno song yakawina nayo. But quite often competition yema reading kuti now I'm playing the Smiley, you know Smiley.
Did you Smiley? Yeah.
I read the radio 3 whatever it might be 4 FM, I don't know. But I read the Kainesa my reading, extravaganza, but my extravaganza reading it was a copy of a certain international rhythm. Rakazo disqualify but from a vote rakareta say ra winner. Then that year kwaka winner rainzi zvaitika rhythm. And that was 2010. That was 2011, 2012. 2012 ichitanga I did first hit song ya Colors. Nakatumira rhythm Zimbabwe rikarekordwa nemunhu anonzi Dollar Getters. Dollar Getters was there, I think veteran kwandiri, munhu mukuru kwandiri. I still respect him because anga atogara ariko, but because inini ndasingakwanisa kurekodha maartist. Ndaitumira mabeats zvaingoitwa naJuicer achiuya kuZimbabwe orekordwa. Oita rhythm ndobatanidza ta international was part and parcel yekubatanidza zvinhu zvangu. Ta international anga ari munhu ari very close kwandiri pakuti ndaitikaita kwaiti tai koita Nonzi. If you know Nonzi, I used to work na Nonzi. Because test have online. They were sendera na stay at 3-4. Those were like my nation now around. But Thai International was the closest. There's one that upload as my songs. I want to go into jam rock. I want to go into like all these other parts, including rockers mix. Then we move on. That's Zoka Zimbabwe. That's Zoka Zimbabwe.
If you can, we got the gaga, yeah. So that I don't lose the other, yeah.
That's Zoka Zimbabwe. That's Zoka Fantani. That's Zoka Zimbabwe end of 2012. And it DZ, that was April, May. April, May, I was preparing. That was his first appearance. London. The first artist to UK. I read UK asking Zimbabwe. Then here comes an issue now. DZ, Fandan Akawia, that was October. If not 2013, that was not, if not October, November. What the time I got Fandan DZ, I got a bounty list, I got a Jalav. Well, when I got a studio Fandan. Before that time, Kuma time you go. You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Fandan Angasina studio Fandan. Time the choose spot, it was just a place, and it. Then it comes Fanta now. Inini I was there. Taita. My studio. There were a lot of studios. I remember the other night I got a studio. Inini kila tea number na team akuipinda kana watora kupasa ya Fanta and food. Because pasa ita ma shows. Fanta na ita ma pasa ma shows. But anga sina studio. Yakatola kila tea. Here na nasikana kila tea can tell you how it was. Karamu studio makumbeza zvakadhakwa makuseni kila tia akaenda kwa Cash Lips ndo pakano rekoda tuma masong but anga ane song ekuti akarova Ghana it was a hit song pakaenda kwa Cash Lips was Cash Lips aive mudhuze mangu but still Cash Lips tatakangofana now even though indandani tumakore mchana 1 year or 2 years ndiri pamberi pake but Cash Lips was there before and so here Fanta now kana achitaura iye kuti is the founder serious ndazviramba akatanga nemarhythm ndazviramba but anongo bigger Fanta akwanisa kusumudza maartist akawanda 1 2 akwanisa kusimba nemarhythm he brings rhythms after rhythms but some of us we have failed. We can't lie that as because we have some other things that you can say we cannot say tapera because if I do a rhythm nasika anyone can sing. There's nothing because anyone can make rhythms as long as there's Fruit Loops. But here now, what we are saying is rhythm 1, 2 is not the founder where Zimdanzo. Zimdanzo was the I cannot lie with Zimdanzo.
Thanks a lot, DJ Fit. Thanks a lot for the enlightenment. I cannot validate some of the things, but I think for those who are are you willing to respond to? I've seen a couple of comments here. People are saying you are bitter.
I'm willing to respond to anything.
Yes.
I'm willing to respond to anything.
There is a statement Raguti Anzi, your version of the story might not be true because you are bitter and wapera.
Well, at least I have connections to every artist. I have connection to every artist. No way to if I can manage to record Anthony B, if I can manage to record Majama, phone and I have so many contacts. If I can manage to do that, if you see Ramana free money, can squander. like they are my close people. Don't know that king garai part gaziration. Country empress garai part gaziration. Chino gazira chino and chino go in was my artist maombe kudar. But in and try and see any hype. I'm looking for some Samari. They're more into DJing, into promotion. If you find with last year, the parent chita my shows. In and out, kutendera Zimbabwe yes. My own shows, tendera name artists in chita say. Saka is a production now. If you don't understand what production does, production wastes all your time because per day you know they go down 7. Imagine why they go down 7. Each artist has 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes. Which other kuma mix some song yao. So you know the 100% concentration. I do shit if you are doing production.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that you have sort of made a balance. You have said this is not true, but at the same time, you've acknowledged the contribution that you spot into on the Zim dance or scene. These guys are actually doing it, and they've really pushed, and they're doing well. You know.
Once ask Fidel, is he bitter or feel disrespected by Fantan's statement? You know, I never feel like disrespected. I never feel like bitter about him because you know, Fantan in ndakamtarisa mfano wangu. Saka chandikangotaura ndechekuti ndakamtarisa chaida kuti vanhu vazive chokwadi. You know, let me tell you, pane chimwe chandakaona. Ndoda kungopa example. Sorry, ndiri kutaura ndirurama nchitaura. There was a year ndakaenda ku City Sports nane playlist yangu 2016 nane time singaridze ku City Sports like maclosing aya. You know playlist ndakaenda nayo Plotica. It was playlist ya 2008 2009. Wazama ngoma edu aya mangoma edu pa CD aya. Wandora. Saka chiri kuitika ndechekuti pane generation iri kumashuro. Kwete imwe generation yakatanga mai manje. Saka iyi generation yakatanga mai manje ikangoudzwa zvayaudzwa inogona ngoteerera izvo because vakatanga kuteerera music kana pa body slam kana vamwe vakatanga kuteerera rhythm kana kuti pa home run kana pane rimwe rhythm rekwajipas kana blackout but zviri kumashuro kumanje avaite sei havasi kuzviziva ona vanenge vachingoti uyu ndiye akaita sei akadziya wamogesenza ndozvamautaura isusu sevanhu vagara timo muindustry tinokwanisa kutaura inini I don't do things for the likes chero kandivenga ukaita sei as long ndataura chokwadi if Andan he understands and he knows andiri kutaura kuti I'm making sense pazvamutaura but munhu anenge achimodinayo zvake but chokwadi anenge achiziva kuti no Fantan ndiye is the king right now wemaridhim wemachi is the king ari kupusha maartist izvo atingabvita zvidzima but kuti ndiye akatanga nemaridhim it's a lie kuti ndiye akatanga Zim dance it's a lie. Zim dance was already there. Ndoyega point andinayo andinachakaipa nemunhu andinachakaipa nani kana akatondifonera akati mfana wangu yatimwe doro notorova Trace kwete nechitombofungiro tachisamikana tachaita sei nothing like that. Fantan ndewangu tatopinda dzakawanda Trace pakaoma pakaita sei right now ari mukweko Fantan kana watomushaya baba ari mukweko vanishona henzi chatenda nomuona saka kusikuti ndine beef na Fantan or whatsoever or anything.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Fidel. That was a mouthful. Thank you so much, bro, for shedding the light from your perspective, and I really appreciate you taking your time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thanks. So thank you so much. That was a long, detailed narration from DJ Fidel, you know, quite interesting twists and turns. So I'm going to try and make it as quick as possible, like give at least every speaker not more than 5 minutes so that at least we can accommodate more and be able to exhaust the topic soon. Not really exhaust, but at least shed some light. So I'm trying to add vocal and vocal.
Hey, guy.
What's good, man?
What's up?
Andrew Boys, what do you say? Thanks a lot for coming through. It's quite interesting to get you on the platform.
Yeah.
Because you were part of the revolution. You know, you were managing Say Colors then, and now you are one of the founders of the Zim Dance Summit. So it will be very interesting. Yeah.
What founder do you want?
Jimmy Magataga is Zim Dance Summit. So tipire Zim dance yakabva kupi toza kuti dance wanga gara iriko, but what happened
And I think to speak for myself, and I don't represent anyone as I'm talking right now.
Yeah.
We are one of the great grandchildren of the legacy, because chinhu chatakatosirwawo nevanhu, even though mazita akauya achisiyana, yakambotanga iri urban grooves, yakazogrowa yakaenda kwakati, yakaenda kudanso, yakaenda kupi, yakaenda kuzimdanso, ichazoenda kumangoma, since mati muda kuichinja zita. You get the sense?
zita because takanga tatorotswa baba kuti zvinhu zvinogona kunetsa izvi rikatichinje zita so tisitaka nacho.
Why is it? But then I can't say much because I'm part of the new school. But then tiri vanhu vari kusurvive under legacy yatakasiyirwawo, even though paine zvakawanda zvichachinja nezviri kuchinja mumusic yedu. There are so many changes that are coming up. So people, I think there is lack of documentation of the history. That's why everyone is so confused. Right now, anyone can claim, anyone can say anything because there is no documentation. There is Jordan akatokura izvezvi anogona kuti asatoziva kuti Colors akaimba pasting, Jalava akaimba pasting, because there is no documentation of that. You get the sense? Haatoziva kuti promoter akapromota Sting ndiani, promoter akadai so ndiani, Winky D akatanga kuimba show ipi, Colors akatanga kuimba show ipi, Freeman akatanga kuimba pa show ipi. So I'm not here to say who is the founder or who is not the founder, because that's not my place. I don't even know who's the founder and who's not the founder right now. I'm also trying to get answers, but I just want to urge people, especially those from the universities, to document these things, because kana zvakatanga kunetsa isusu vacho vari mazviri, ko vana vedu nevazukuru vedu vachaita sei? You get the sense? They will never know. It will remain a mystery. It's like Sisu John Rhodes saying, I discovered Rhodesia, I discovered Victoria Falls. You get the sense? There's no documentation of that. So it will forever remain a mystery. We will never know who played which part and who played. And I've always said that this Tongoro vanhu vaitongonziwo vangu vari kuzimdanso, ana King George ngonzo vanhu vakangopfurawo nekuzimdanso, because impact yavo haina kudocumentwa. So we are not really important right now because there's no history to back it up for us. Fantan has played a very, 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 very big part in Zimdanso for it to be what it is right now. Winky D played his part, Daza D his part, Templeman his part. Everyone has played his part. But then it's all about documentation, kuti totaura kuti history yedu iri kubva apa ichienda apa. Wakaona zvadaro kai. History yakafanana newill. Panozonzi pafa mudhara, hatife takaita makakatano, hatife takakakavadzana, because tine chinhu chiri kutiguida in a certain way. So I just urge all the people, especially you, Nana Changamire Dombo, Nana King George, you have the power. You, Nana Shona, you have the power. You get the sense? You have the power to do that. You have the will, you have the zeal to do that. We need to document these things so that tomorrow we don't have this same scenario. Our children won't have it tomorrow. Yeah, so...
yeah, thanks a lot for the enlightenment. I think it's quite important that you've mentioned the issue of documentation, that we need to write as things are happening, factually right, so that at least when we get to maybe 10 years from now, at least we'll be able even to tell what happened today in its rightful sense, you know.
Yeah, that's true. This is our story. No one is to come and write it for us. No one is to tell anyone for us on our behalf. People have to read about it. We existed and we still exist. We have to write this down. Kune vaitonyora matombo kunana Mount Darwin kunana Dombo Shava. You see, it's so important because wakaudzwa kunzi matombo eMudombo Shava maigara vanhu dai musina kunyorwa, would you have believed it? You wouldn't have, because there's no documentation of it. So I'm just urging everyone, I'm not going to tukana, I'm not going to makana, because there's a lot of tension that's going around, to tell the truth. Fantan just ignited it.
And what are the positives that you think will come out of that ignition? Because I don't think it's all negative. It's all like my
it's
position, like my
Yeah, it's an eye opener. We were blindfolded. We didn't know that we have that much history. We didn't know that Zimdanso is that deep, because when wakawanda wanofunga kuti Zimdanso, they think kuti genre kana kuti mangoma muZimbabwe mangoma akangotanga 2012 2013, but now people are coming out. Takunzwa kunzi kuna Slug Youth he is actually the person akati inonzi Zimdanso kuna ningi akadai, and I'm now grateful, and I want to thank Fantan for that, because he has ignited people to say things that they didn't want to share. People were so stingy. Dai pasina Fantan, dai video wasina kutombobvera atiudza zvese zvekuti ndakarekodha nengi ndakadai because anenge asingade kutiudza information iyoyo. You get the sense? Ada kuzvichengetera mahari, but then Fantan came out and said what he said. I think in his capacity, because I think he has his own backing. Amuna rutoziwa kuti ini ndakadai nekudai to whoever. And I think he has his own capacity of saying things, and I respect whatever he says. He's a human being. He's someone who has played a big role in
he's
it.
An authority in the genre.
Kuti inini ndinzi kumangoma inini. My friend was Ribe. We played soccer together, and Fantan is the first person I can introduce kumangoma. Ndo patika sangana na Colors, Bounty Lisa. I actually was first manager of Bounty Lisa before Colors, and people don't know that. You get the sense. And then there was Colors, there was Tana, there was whoever. But then I'm grateful for Fantan for bringing me into music. He introduced me to music, which I wangu to kudai, and then we met proper players. We met a lot of people. So I think without proper documentation of these things, we will never know. People will never know. But then Fantan I ignite amanje, my emotions are high, any tension here. So I think right now, for the job that is there for us is to take notes, and we write things down, and we are still grateful, and we are lucky with Tinana King Alfred and Mad Minox. Tinema elders chao akanyazobva nemangoma before Zimdanso, and akabva nemangoma kunze pasi vanokwanisa kuti guide apa tinenge tida kugadzira history yedu yakuti aiwa izvi zvakabva so zvakasvika apa, and then zvimwe zvacho tozozvigadzirirawo tega, because zvakazoitika takura takukwanisa kuona, and we were involved.
Yeah, thanks a lot Vocal for sharing that word. And yeah, I hope one or two people have managed to pick one or two points from there. And I like what you said, that look, you have said the facts from your own understanding straight, but at the same time we've highlighted why it's very important that this conversation is started, and this conversation should not end there, because we have not been writing our history, so it's going to be difficult for anybody to really come up and say this and that without having like something written. So it's upon us, especially us the media guys, to sit down and start writing books and writing these stories, and preserve our legacy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you so much. That was Vocal. He spoke about his own understanding. I'm trying to add my... Yeah, I'm trying to add my next guest. Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Ta International.
Yeah, mkuru.
Ndivyo wangu zviri sei?
Ndizvozvo. Mune poor lighting mandiri macho hamuite.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I just want in 5 minutes to hear your opinion. You guys have been on the forefront of pushing ZimdanceHall and Zimbabwean music from the diaspora, and UK has played a very pivotal role in the whole transformation. I remember back in the days it was difficult to upload any content on YouTube using the dial-up connection, but the diaspora community documented the greater part of this history. What's your opinion? What's your point with regard to dancehall and Zim dancehall? When did it become Zim dancehall?
Well, this is an interesting issue. I've been following it, but silently from the terraces, because people want to get one answer. Everyone is expecting to get a reply, nongoti ga ga ga, but with Zim dancehall and with most things, you cannot get that. You see, one thing you have to know is just the name Zim dancehall. Kana paripo pane nyaya yacho. People don't know what they want to know. Do they want to know uti ndianaka pazita rekuti Zim dancehall? Is that the question? Kana kuti vari kunetsikana kuti yakatangira papi nani o chii mubvunzo chaiwo uri papi? You see, ndo problem iri kuitika, vanhu vanoda one answer vasiri kunyatsoziva kuti vari kuda kuziva chipi. If it's about kwakatangira Zim dancehall, you first have to go back ipapo pakuti okay, Zim dancehall yacho yakazonzi Zim dancehall papi. When you want to get the truth, you have to know that the only people who can tell you everything are the people who were there pekutanga. Saka, for you to get information about this, vanhu vakaita sana Minox, vanhu vakaita sana Temple Man, vana Etherton, vana Alfred, vana Papal, vane history yavanoziva isingagoni kutaurwa nemunhu akatanga kuzoteerera mangoma muna 2005 kana 2010 kana 2015. You know what I mean? Because ivavo inini I'm 38 now, but inini nditoriwo teenager, ndiri mazera atori nevamwe vanoteerera ike zvinoizva. Taitoita sei? Taitoteerera vana Minox, taitoteerera vana Etherton, vana ani, taitoteerera vakuru, so they know a lot that these younger people do not know. Anditi the name yekuti Zim dancehall, a lot of people can think they came with it on, but yakaya time iyo yana Smile and all that. Isusu inini, like I'm based in the UK, kuti tizoti Zim dancehall, it was because kana uchida kuti waiti uchiridza music yekunyika kwedu anditi majama nevamwe vanhu pavanoinzwa vanokubvunza kuti chiichi, because they wouldn't recognize it as reggae or as dancehall because they didn't know what was going on. So the only way you could refer to it is as Zim dancehall. And this was way before manje. This was kudara. You know what I mean?
Like when? Do you have idea in terms of years?
To be precise, I can't know the exact year, but I'll tell you that way before 2006, we used the term Zim dancehall kudara before 2006, because Sluggy Youth akatoita website yaitonzi zimdancehall.com. Asi yakatozomira, but you see it on videos, and that was kuna 2007. No, actually, that was even before 2007. That was earlier, mnana 2006, because mnana 2006 taitoedza promoter Zim dancehall kuno ku UK tatorine zimdancehall.com anditi, because yaitobvawo ku Zimbabwe tichida kuti ibude kuno ku South Africa because internet and all that zvachiitaka, but yange yatotanga before, but kuti irecognizwe manje Fantan ane kauright kaanga ainako mune zvekutaura kuti urban grooves, because ndo mazvaibuda, but already yanga isiri urban grooves because ndo zvainzi zvembanje. You know what I mean? It wasn't accepted.
Are you saying ana sniper vaisaimba urban grooves?
Aiwa, vana sniper vaiimba mu urban grooves anditi, but vanga vari vemangoma, but kuti izonyatsozonzi Zim dancehall as kuti izonyatsoita a genre iri complete you know kuti one person, two people, three people don't make a genre. Kana trending ndo pazvinenge a genre ukona, and for it kuti itoita a genre is because people would keep on calling it that ukona. So because paitoita kana mashows foreign kana kunokuka taitoziva kuti kuchauya ma-urban groovers nevanhu vemangoma. You know what I mean? But because mangoma anga asiri radio like that achinzi Zim dancehall zvanga zvichingofola under that, but kune vanhu vemangoma we already were terming it something else different.
So if I get you well, right? Yeah.
Whatever.
Yes.
But the name Zim dancehall was being used way before. Yazopisa later on, but it was termed that way before now. way before 2012. 2012 ndimanje vanadubu vaitorwa vainge vakutorowa muzimu dance yange yatogadzirwa kudhara, yange yatombotraya ikambomira ikatombodini, but maorigins ayo ka ini ndine zvandisingatomboziyezve time yebefore, but inini ndakatopindawo mumazviri ka later on zvitoriko kudhara. And I can only munhu anokwanisa kutaura zvandobhelievha vanenge vari vana Minox, vanenge vari vanhu vahombe vana Papal, because taitoenda kumashow avo emangoma aimixwa nechine urban grooves, but Zim Dance yanga isati yakumira yega kuti zvinzi pane one show yeizvizvi. The term yekuzongoti Zim Dance zvaatoriwo later on, kwanechi takutambawo nana MSN, kwakuita vana takudaita vana vana Lion Soldier vese vaive way before they were already terming it Zim Dance kudhara before high five. Urunzo tichiri kutoziva kuti titoti music iyo tiringodzwa Smiley, Winky D few other people, Sniper, King Labash, way before. Urunzo and this is way before it was there, but zvasati zvapisa zvasati zvadziya like now.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to agree to what you're saying there. Like, I have a comment here. Flavor saying, do you know the first song to get an award was King Labash with Konzeresa in 2007. And then 2008 was Winky D with Rokeshen. Yeah, which is quite interesting. So I think, do you think it's necessary for us to really fuss and fight over the name Zim Danso? Or
No. Yeah. Not at all. One thing you have to know, the problem yakuitika manje Zim Dance kubva pakatanga zvema awards and all that pakuda kuita ownership, you know what I mean? People want to own this in Zim Dance, so own that, own this, own that. Ukona the genre as a whole haisati yatosimba, hatsati akuburitsa music yekuti iri kumira apa panana Davido murungu oteerera zvese zviri tu obva zviti zviri kunakidza zvese, you know what I mean? Tinopinda mabawa mune Nigerian music, South African music, Zim Dance haisi kukwikwidza like that, but already we are fighting. Takutorwisanisa chinhu chisati chaita sei chisati chasimba, because uyu ari downzi ndini ndazoita sei ndini ndadai. There are a lot of people who are in the shadows vasingatombozikanwe, who've been working for this kubva kudhara, vanotochipusha chinhu ichi. Urikuona pachinoita flat pachinodini vanofa nacho, but hatitombovaziye history chaiyo ka haizi yekungoti plot urunzi plot nyora history. Haukwanise kunyora history plot wobhoza una information yakakwana. Kuti uinyore unofanira kuziya, kuti uziye unofanira kuziya wekuvhunza, kuti uvhunze ka unofanira kuvhunza vanhu vari credible. Saka pakatoipa, urikuona. Saka unoziya ipapo the whole thing iri kubva pakuti Fanta noke igeto yuta akangwara he struck something. Pane zvaakataura, kana akataura nemoyo wese zvinenge zvichingorakidza kuti maturity yake iri palevel ipi. Kana akangotaurawo zvinongorakidza kuti aiwa is a conversation starter. Iwe Chillsport Records ilabel, Fanta ndi DJ, Fanta naapro, Fanta nakuda kutoita promoter, Fanta natori manager wemaartist, saka he has to stay relevant. Zvaakaita izvi akaziva kuti ari kupaka outrage, but inside anoziva kuti no, chimuti vanacho ike zvino izvi ndo vari kupisa, saka anotaura zvaanoda. Ko muri maona ike zvino izvi 142 vari kuteerera zvinhu ungabvunza kuti ndiani akanyengewa mwamai kana baba. Zvangofanira kuti Chamisa wabva ati inini ndini ndakapa nyika ino izita rekuti Zimbabwe. Ndo zvakaita Fantani. Ukanzwa Chamisa adaro anenge achitoita se ari kutongodenhawo zvake. Saka Fantani akangodenhawo zvake, but iye akatopinda muZim Dance. Saka iwe imagine kuti iye akatotsvaga kuti ndinoda kuita zveZim Dance. Ukateerera mainterview yake before andoudzwa kuti ndazonga daita zveZim, saka angaipa zita kupapi pachepa. Saka he was just he was just Fantan being Fantan. He's a people person. Handizivi zvaifunga zvake, but handifunga kuti aireva matorerwo akaitwa zvinhu nevanhu, because aiwa iye kana iye anobviziva akatopindawo machiri. But maakapinda macho anotozivawo mbijana, ane zvaakawanda zvaasingatoziye nezveZim Dance iyi. Inonetsa Zim Dance iyi.
Thanks a lot, International. Thanks a lot. I think you've really brought in a very interesting angle there to say, look, guys, as much as we could be debating what Fantan said, but I think the whole gist of this conversation is that that Fantan started, is that he kickstarted something. He was bold enough to actually say something, whether he meant it or not, but he said something that has already disrupted the industry. Everybody is starting to talk. And after a couple of months, we'll definitely look back and we'll remember what Fantan said. So as a game player, as a game changer, I think this is showbiz. I would take it as showbiz. I remember in the hip-hop circles, the beef that was going on between West Coast and East Coast, and I remember some of the conversations, some of the statements that were made. And this is not only to hip-hop, but also dancehall. If you look at Jamaica, you see what Bounty, you see what was happening with Ninja Man.
Yeah.
It's conversations, and these conversations are important, and it has to be started by somebody, and I think Fantan did that. You know, not to say I'm justifying what he said. Yes, it's publicity.
Fantan and Babasa. He can say whatever he wants to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then the thing is, it's just like with Zim dancehall or any other type of music, fans take things too seriously. Time ya Tupac na Biggie vanhu vakaurayana. Urikuona? Biniman, time ya Cartel na Bounty vanhu vakanetsana, vakaurayana. Urikuona? Time ya Sekalas na Soldier Love vanhu vakatukana. Urikuona? Ike zvino izvi it's showbiz. Time Fantan nada isoka, people are going to be arguing and arguing.
And there'll be songs are going to come out.
Asingaziye Fantan ga of which handiyena asingamziye. Achada kutoziva kuti Fantan wacho ndezvechiu chatsvaga chiu sport uchadai so kubasa Fantan ari kubasa. Saka mukazviteka tu hati zvataura naFantan ga munotogumzira murutoitiswa. Atori pabasa ari tomaketa ike nezvienzo kuchinge chimhanya. Pazuka chiri kumhanya. Ari pabasa mukomana.
Yeah, true.
But chokwadi anochiziya.
Yeah, thank you so much, International. Yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, an angle, and thank you for joining the conversation. Yeah, I will end. Andy, thank you so much. So I'll add, I think, one or two more, and then we end the conversation. It has dragged longer than we thought, but thank you so much.
All right, bless.
So thank you so much. I mean, you're hearing the conversation. What Thai International was saying is, look, guys, we might be angry with what Fantan said, but there's a lot of sense from what he said, in the sense that he started off a conversation that has to go on until we correct certain things, a conversation that is relevant for showbiz. This is showbiz, and people are not supposed to catch feelings because of what Fantan said. Yeah, so quite interesting. Let me try to add. I'm trying to add Mad Minox and so when I add you, if you could just make your phone landscape so that you're able to yes. Marshall.
Hi.
What's up, man?
Good.
Cool. You made a lot of comments, but I'm not going to dwell on your comments. And I think we're going to mainly focus on the narrative now and take it up from there. What's your take on this conversation? Thai International just spoke before you. He says, look, we might be angry with what Fantan said. It might be incorrect in some way. But what's important from there, the take home, is that he has started a conversation, a very crucial conversation. And he acknowledges that Fantan and ChewSport are game changers. Right now, they're the ones that are shaping the direction of Zim dancehall. And they've managed to churn out, year in, year out, stars that are making a living out of their music. So we cannot take away that from him. He's an authority. He says whatever he wants. But we have the right also to respond and correct that. What's your take?
All right. Thanks God for this opportunity and for this platform. I would like to agree with his sentiments. Yes, that was just now. Whether it was by mistake or not, the fact is that the conversation is started. That's one. Number two, we have now come into a place where we must document stuff. I think where we are today because our history is not documented. I think you can look at sport, you can look at all other types of music or art forms. We do not document things as Zimbabweans. So that is a place where, some of us, you guys, and a whole lot of other people, we need to start documenting, where Zim dancehall came from. If you look at my post, I really went back and looked at some of the old names. So we need to get that and correct that. Just to go back a little bit, I disagree with the fact that we should not correct what Fantan said. It is dangerous because we have a lot of young people who are coming up who do not know the history. For me, my issue is on history, is on correcting the narrative that when Zim dancehall started, whether it was called Zim dancehall or not is neither here nor there, but these guys are standing on shoulders of a lot of men who worked hard, who gave in, their resources, their money to get this. I think it was Lodza, Papa Lodza was saying, Yangeri music, Makisa, but a lot of people pushed hard for it to be where it is, and enough of what a lot of other guys did, and we can never take away from them what they've done, they've done, especially with Zimbo Flavor coming through, and a whole lot of artists that they've discovered. We can't take that away from them, and I think I need to make that clear. We are not saying Fantan is not important. He is very important to Zim dancehall, and he's actually probably the biggest player at the moment. But where we came in and what we are saying is that we must pay respect where it is due, in as far as the elders are concerned. He's influencing. He's an influencer, and he's got a lot of young people who look up to him. So if he's going to talk about back in the day and start from Winky and Sniper, then we have a problem. As someone who is really big in this industry, he ought to know where this thing started from, and he needs to be telling the correct story. So for me, I've got no problem with him. I've got no beef with him. I respect what he's doing. I like what he's doing, but we must make sure that we always give, credit where it is due and respect where it is due, and respecting the elders.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I think it's a very valid point. I totally agree with you that we need to just set the facts correct. But here's the thing also, where I would, not that I'm taking a position, but where I would pardon certain things, because look, a lot of the references we're having is based on hearsay, and some of the people that we also mentioning in terms of the foundation, they never actually had a contact with the current generation of Zim dancehall artists. They're current artists that have no idea whatsoever that there was Culture T. They have no idea of who Yabi Bantan or Daddy Distress was. You know what I mean? And we cannot blame them in totality that they are oblivious of the past, because nobody has written this. We have not taken time to actually write this. So they will remember their history and to tell it from the point where they started it. And
I think that's on you and me now to make sure that it's documented and it's corrected.
Yeah, true. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. It's really great that you took time to watch and also put in your input and join the conversation. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. So, you see, one of the interesting points that keeps popping up is that, look, it's not much that has been documented, as far as Zim dancehall is concerned. So, at times, the history gets twisted along the way, I'm trying to add Mad Minox to the conversation. Mad Minox. Yeah, so my choice of this song is in memory and remembrance of Chimani Mani Chipinge. and the entire Manicaland province, Mozambique and Malawi, people that were affected and devastated by the floods, by cyclone Idai, which left a trail of destruction and deaths. We have to find ways to continue helping out the remaining families that lost their livelihood, they lost food, they lost their livestock, they lost everything, they lost families. Yeah, it's really sad. So I'm trying to add I think I'm having a bit of a challenge with the connection. Some of the guests that were supposed to be part of the conversation, thank you guys. I see your comments and I know some of the guys that you have mentioned there, some of them that were part of our guests, but apparently some of them, trying to add them is a bit of a struggle, I think, because of the network connections. So let me see if this one works out. Let me see. Mad Minox, if you can see me, just send a request, because I'm sending one, but it's not going through. So we can have the next 10 minutes and then end this conversation. And thank you so much to everyone who has joined this conversation tonight. I know it was not exhaustive, but the intention was not to exhaust everything, but to outline and bring out, the different perspectives based on how different players in the Zim dance or scene understand and explain and narrate the development of Zim dancehall or dancehall in Zimbabwe, as you can say. Let me see. So, once. Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to add. Okay. So just bear with me for a second whilst I try to fix the technicalities here, Yeah. So I think my guest is having, actually they are having a bit of a challenge to connect to the conversation. So before I go, I'll just share a bit of information that I have, that I've managed to gather on this subject, whilst I was doing a bit of my research. I've been writing a lot about Zim dancehall for some years now. I've contributed different platforms. I've been part of a documentary that was done on Zim dancehall called Zim Dancehall to the World. It was done by US filmmaker and DJ Yuan Gomez, Yuan G, and in 2014. And The documentary featured Winky D and Q-Spot like as the main protagonist, and Phineas Mshai from the then Zim Dancehall Awards and myself. And it's quite interesting because it touches on some of these very fundamental issues that are coming to the front now, you know, and it sheds a bit of more light, but I think still it didn't answer some of the questions that were, but I think the most important thing, like I've highlighted before, is that we have a conversation going on, a conversation that would definitely take us somewhere. There's going to be a lot of new music coming in. There's going to be a lot of new producers or even old producers that are going to take up to the studio and produce music. The conversation is not going to end. As long as it doesn't get physical, I think it's a very necessary conversation. We all know this is showbiz, this is entertainment, and yeah. So thank you so much for your time, and it's really been great to have you guys watching this program. This is a snippet of what we're going to be doing. I'm not going to be doing the next programs. Maybe here and there I'll be featuring, but as Earground platform, we're trying by all means to create and have more people on board as we get ready to launch our internet radio station, Earground, which is almost set and waiting for a few things to build content and stuff. And thank you so much. It'll be disrespect to end without playing one of the biggest artists to ever come out of dancehall. Actually, he is the revolution. This is how I call him. And
I never thought swing to the body something like that in the sea. I hear that. More bunch, more carry. They don't know how real get that thing. I want to go there real quick. Eh? See, I know there's so many.
So I'll be joining a live conversation, just following. For those that are here, you can also migrate to Levels, Q-Spot Records. They've got a conversation going on Zim Dancehall. They'll be also, I think, talking a bit from their angle. Levels is there, and I think Fantan will also join in. So thank you so much, guys. Until next time, one love, blessed. Keep the music coming in. We love Zim Dancehall. Big up Fantan, big up Q-Spot, big up everyone who's supporting and making Zim Dancehall what it is today. Bless.